Are you producing? So good evening to everyone, and a very hearty welcome, one and all, to this important event. On behalf of Ministry of Mines, I welcome you all. And shortly we are going to be commencing the program. It's going to be for 1 hour, wherein our Honorable Minister of Coal Mines and Parliamentary Affairs, in a while from now, he's going to be today releasing this very important report, the report on the identification of critical minerals for India. As I mentioned, the entire event is going to be for close to an hour, and post that you're also requested to pay a visit outside. There are samples of the rocks and the ores outside. Please have a look at that. Also, the report which is going to be released, you can collect a copy of the same outside after the program at the desk outside. Thank you. Just please also have your mobile phones on the silent mode or on the meeting mode, please. Thank you again. And apart from our Honourable Minister, we are also expecting Shri Jogen Mohan, the Honourable Minister of Revenue and Disaster Management's Hills Area Development, Mines and Minerals, Government of Assam. Ladies and gentlemen, with deep gratitude and a resounding applause, let's welcome our Honourable Chief Guest, the Honourable Union Minister of Coal Mines and Parliamentary Affairs, Shri Prahlad Joshi ji. Also, very hearty welcome to Shri Jogen Mohan ji, the Honourable Minister of Revenue and Disaster Management, Hills Area Development, Mines and Minerals, Government of Assam. May I request our respected Secretary, Mines, Shri Vivek Bhardwaj ji, to please grace the dais. The Additional Secretary, Shri Sanjay Lohia ji, Director General GSI, Shri Janardhan Prasad ji, to please join us here on the dais. The Indian Bureau of Mines, the senior representatives from the think tanks joining us, from the International Energy Agency, from the Center for Social and Economic Progress, from the Council on Energy, Environment and Water, and then all the other eminent stakeholders across this huge value chain and supply chain of the mining sector, and of course our friends from the media. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasure to be welcoming all of you in this very important occasion, as shortly we are going to be witnessing the release of the important report, the report on the identification of critical minerals for India. A report which stands of huge immense importance for India, not only towards its national security, towards energy security, towards our economic development and growth, but also for India to realize its net zero targets and the energy transition goals. So at the very onset, we would like to thank our Honorable Minister for his guidance, for his leadership, and for joining us to release this report. I would like to invite here on the dais Ms. Garima Kadyan, the Section Officer from the Ministry of Mines, to please accord a green welcome to the distinguished dignitaries on the dais. Thanking once again and according a green welcome to Shri Prahlad Joshi ji. Welcome to Shri Vivek Bhardwaj ji. To Shri Sanjay Lohia ji. And to Shri Janardhan Prasad ji, Director General GSI. Ladies and gentlemen, this, as mentioned earlier, stands as a very important report and a momentous occasion for us. Let's mark it as per the Indian traditions and customs by lighting the ceremonial lamp. And may I request our Honourable Minister, sir, and the distinguished dignitaries on the dais to please light the lamp as we mark the auspicious inauguration of this event. Thank you, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, after this auspicious inauguration, as we move into understanding the very importance of this report, the thought, the idea behind this report, at the very onset, I would like to request and invite Shri Sanjay Lohia ji, our Additional Secretary Mines, for his welcome remarks.
Honorable Minister of Coal, Mines and Parliamentary Affairs, Shri Prahlad Joshi, Respected Secretary Mines, Shri Vivek Bhardwaj, Director General Geological Survey of India, Shri Janardhan Prasad, Joint Secretary Dr. Veena Kumari, other officers of Ministry of Mines and other various central ministries, the dignitaries from foreign missions in India, industry and media. Also, Sri Jugyan Mohan, Minister of Mines of Government of Assam. Ladies and gentlemen, today the world is at a critical juncture in its fight for survival in view of climate change due to excessive release of carbon in the atmosphere. New technologies have been developed to tap the renewable energy sources, but widespread usage of these technologies required large quantity of minerals like lithium, cobalt, graphite, etc. So there is a need to look for these minerals. India is the largest country in the world today in terms of its population. In order to meet our food security needs, we need large quantities of fertilizer minerals. India also needs a large quantity of minerals for our developmental needs. Taking all these into consideration, Ministry of Mines, under the leadership of our Secretary, Sri Vivek Bharadwaj, has taken steps to identify a list of critical minerals in our country, and for this purpose a committee was constituted. I welcome you today to this program on release of the report for identification of critical minerals for India. With release of this report, India will join other progressive countries who have identified list of minerals critical to them. Identification of critical minerals is one aspect, and securing supply of these minerals internally and from outside is a much bigger challenge. Under the leadership of our Honorable Minister Shri Prahlad Joshi, a number of reforms have been undertaken in last 2 years to encourage participation of private sector in exploration of such minerals, auction of mineral blocks of various deep-seated and critical minerals at a much faster pace. These reforms have yielded good results in a short period of last 2 years. More reforms are being pursued by the ministry. Ministry is also working towards securing critical mineral supplies from abroad in collaboration with Ministry of External Affairs and other ministries. With the identification of critical minerals, which will be part of the report to be released today, I am hopeful that Ministry of Mines as well as other ministries will be able to take steps in a focused manner on not only securing supply of these minerals, but on also processing technology of usage, etc., of these minerals as a group as well as on an individual basis. We are at the beginning of an exciting journey. I welcome you to these first steps towards this exciting journey for our country. Thank you so much. I welcome you all.
Thank you, sir, for sharing these deep insights on the report and the vision of the Honorable Minister and the Ministry towards this report. और हम मंच पर स्वागत करना चाहेंगे श्री जोगेन मोहन जी का भी, और मैं एक बार पुनः आमंत्रित करती हूँ यहाँ पर मंच पर गरिमा को. May I request Garima Kadyan to please present the plant, accord a green welcome to Shri Jogen Mohan ji. आपका भी बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. Honorable Minister of Revenue and Disaster Management, Hills Area Development, Mines and Minerals, Government of Assam. धन्यवाद sir. And may I now request our respected Secretary, sir, Shri Vivek Bharadwaj ji, for his address.
Honorable Minister for Mines, Government of India. We are also happy to have the Minister of Mines from Assam on this occasion. Other dignitaries on the dais and friends and colleagues. I was reading somewhere that polio vaccination started in India in 1979. Almost a quarter of a century after it started in the US. Hepatitis B. This vaccination started in 2002. Again 20 years after being available in the US. Smallpox. Smallpox eradication was launched in the year 1962. And we were able to eradicate it finally in 1977. Again, almost 25 years after it was eradicated in Europe. Why am I telling you about vaccination in an event about critical minerals? We are all, of course, aware that while we may have been found lacking by scores of years in the past. This time, when the COVID vaccination or the vaccine was introduced in US, it was introduced in India also. This is how times have changed. Similarly, the importance of critical minerals has been appreciated by different countries of the world, and it was only last year that Canada, the UK and Australia came out with their list of critical minerals. We set up this committee on the 1st of November last year. Not much later than the rest of the world. A lot of effort has gone into making this list. Many people have worked tirelessly. I need to mention that the chairperson, Veena Dharmal, she has worked very hard. We've had a representative from IBM, Mr. Pankaj Kulshrestha. We had representation from the Niti Aayog, Mr. Sarvana Bhavan, advisor to Kabul, Mr. Suryavanshi, the GSI representative was also here, Mr. Ganveer, and we had 2 members from the ministry participating in these deliberations. They consulted stakeholders, they consulted the ministries, they tried to understand the economic importance of each mineral, its strategic importance, our dependencies on other countries, the domestic availability, and through a very meticulous 3-stage process, we have come to this list of critical minerals for this country. Of course, the list would be different for each country, depending upon their resource endowments. We have also included fertilizer minerals in this list because we are a country which is one of the largest exporters of rice and wheat in the world. We are the granary of the world. We need to support a large population, and also farmers. Therefore, fertilizers are important to us. A lot has happened in the last few months, and I need to share where we stand as far as critical minerals are concerned. Everyone has heard of our success in domestic exploration, where we were able to find a large deposit of lithium in the state of Jammu, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Exploration continues there in that area, and we are hopeful of positive results this year itself, which will add to the resources which are already known. We have been connecting with the rest of the world very vigorously. Our Honorable Minister was this month itself in Brazil. This month itself again, our Joint Secretary was in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Next month, we are sending a team to Chile. Last November, we were in Argentina. In September, we've been invited to Mongolia. We are leaving no stone unturned to ensure that we are self-reliant in critical minerals, whether it is domestic availability through heightened exploration or through tie-ups with the rest of the world. This release of the first list of critical minerals is important because, one, it sends a signal to the world. It sends a message to industry that we are there to ensure that supply chains don't get disrupted. It is also important because we need to focus on these minerals. Many of us may not know that India produces about 95 minerals today. But this list gives us renewed focus on where we need to double our energies, our efforts, and ensure that there is no disruption in supply chains. With these few words, I would end. I'm sure this would be just the first step in our journey towards an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you, respected Secretary Sir, for highlighting the importance of this report and the extensive consultations which have been there behind this report. And now may I request our Honourable Minister, sir, to kindly release the report. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a report which has been prepared by a 7-member committee constituted by the Ministry of Mines under the chairmanship of Joint Secretary Policy. May I request Dr. Veena also to join, the chairman. And after a 3-stage assessment process, 1, studying critical mineral strategies of various countries. 2nd, the interministerial consultation to identify the minerals critical for various sectors. 3, derive the empirical index in consultations with IEA and CSCP, who have adopted the EU methodology, and then also considering some of the important parameters such as resource, reserve position in the country, production, import dependency, use of future technologies, fertilizer minerals, and the others, so as to arrive to the list of 30 critical minerals identified for India. And we give you further insights into this report. We have a short film towards it. If you can play the film, please.
Minerals are essential raw materials in our daily lives and are vital for economic, social and technological development. The modern world is moving towards a zero-carbon energy future energy system powered by clean energy technologies. In this rapidly changing landscape, countries around the world are making efforts to create secure supply chains for a wide range of critical minerals central to clean energy technologies. Critical minerals are those minerals which are essential for economic development and national security. The lack of availability of these minerals or even concentration of existence, extraction or processing of these minerals in few geographical locations may lead to supply chain vulnerability and disruption. Countries, including India, have set a target to work towards a carbon-free world. India has set a target for 2070 to be net zero.
पंचामृत की सौगात देना चाहता हूं। पहला, भारत 2030 तक अपनी नॉन फोसिल एनर्जी कैपेसिटी को 500 गीगावाट तक पहुंचाएगा। दूसरा, भारत 2030 तक अपनी 50% एनर्जी रिक्वायरमेंट रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी से पूरी करेगा। तीसरा, भारत अब से लेकर 2030 तक के कुल प्रोजेक्टेड कार्बन एमिशन में 1 बिलियन टन की कमी करेगा। चौथा, 2030 तक भारत अपनी अर्थव्यवस्था की कार्बन इंटेंसिटी को 45% से भी कम करेगा। और पांचवा, वर्ष 2070 तक भारत नेट जीरो का लक्ष्य हासिल करेगा।
Critical minerals will play an important role in the goals set up by the Honorable Prime Minister. The Indian economy has undergone a transformative process of new age reforms in the last decade. The central government is trying to build the foundation upon which India can thrive in the 21st century. An important step in this direction is the efforts to create resilient and diversified mineral supply chains. For this, it is essential that India identify the minerals which are economically important but in short supply in the country. The world's biggest economies such as the US, the UK, Japan, and Australia all have identified their list of critical minerals. The US has a list of 50 minerals, UK has a list of 18 minerals, Japan has 31 minerals, while Australia has 26. Minerals like cobalt, graphite, lithium, PGE, nickel, gallium, niobium, etc. are needed for green energy technologies. Whereas there are other minerals, like potash and phosphate, which are critical to India being an agrarian economy. In order to identify the list of critical minerals for India, a committee was constituted by the Ministry of Mines with the order dated the 1st of November 2022. Identification of critical minerals will help the country to plan for the acquisition and processing of such mineral assets, taking into account the long-term needs of the country. For most of the countries, criticality is judged by two main parameters: economic importance and supply risk. In Indian context also, the same two parameters were taken into consideration. The committee, after a series of deliberations, decided to make a three-stage assessment in order to arrive at the set of minerals critical to the country. In the first stage, a study of the critical mineral strategies of various countries was carried out. The second stage involved an inter-ministerial consultation with different line ministries, and in the third stage, discussions were held with think tanks like International Energy Agency and Center for Social and Economic Progress. In addition, the balance resource and reserve positions for each element, the import dependency, and elements of strategic interest were also taken into consideration to arrive at a set of critical minerals. The committee identified the final set of 30 minerals critical to India. These are antimony, beryllium, bismuth, cobalt, copper, gallium, germanium, graphite, hafnium, indium, lithium, molybdenum, niobium, nickel, PGE, phosphorus, potash, rare earth elements, rhenium, silicon, strontium, tantalum, tellurium, tin, titanium, tungsten, vanadium, zircon, selenium, cadmium. The identification of the critical minerals will help us to make our supply chain for these mineral commodities more diverse, transparent, responsible and resilient. This will ensure that, in the decades to come, the minerals for which the country has favorable geological setting can be explored, extracted and processed in most scientific ways. For the other minerals, we can pursue bilateral and multilateral cooperation with friendly countries to secure critical mineral value chains. And, in doing that, India can position itself at the forefront of the green industrial revolution, create more opportunities for our people, all while showing international leadership and meeting the commitments on energy transition.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the list of 30 minerals which are going to be playing an important role towards the more climate-sensitive, clean, green, resilient, Atmanirbhar growth of India. And as we seek to be led by the progressive vision of our Honourable Minister, I request now Honourable Minister Sir, Shri Prahlad Joshi ji, to please address this august gathering.
Secretary Mines, Sri Vivek Bharadwaj, Additional Secretary Sanjay Lohia, and Minister from Assam, Sri Mohan, Director General GSI. Namaskar to all dignitaries, guests, who have joined us here today. For the first time ever, we have released the list of the critical minerals for our country, and this list can also be called India's roadmap for Atmanirbhar Bharat. The importance of this report of India is paramount. It can be understood from the fact that nowadays everything around us is powered by the critical minerals. From mobile phones, computer to batteries, electric vehicles and green tech runs on the critical minerals. If India is to become Atmanirbhar, the only way is to first to become self-sufficient in securing the critical minerals. It will not be far-fetched to say that critical minerals are the building blocks for the modern civilization. It is therefore essential to our vision of building New India. During 26th session of the conference of the parties, COP26, India committed to the meeting half of its electricity requirements from renewable source by 2030, which has been already carbon intensity to the less than 45% by 2030 and achieving net zero emission by 2070. In order to achieve what PM has called Panchamitra for sustainable development, which you have seen in the video also, India needs to scale up the deployment of green technologies, including the solar panels, wind turbines, electric vehicles. Critical minerals including the cobalt, copper, lithium, nickel and rare earth and others, other rare earth minerals play a critical role in manufacturing of these equipments and technologies. India's list of critical minerals released today sets out the government vision under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi to grow the domestic critical mineral sector. The report has been shaped by extensive research and consultation to address the barriers and the opportunities in the sector. I congratulate the entire team which was constituted in the ministry, and we constituted in last year, and within a year under the guidance of Secretary or Joint Secretary and Additional Secretary, Joint Secretary has given due process, due thought and given a very good report. I congratulate them. Along with this report, we also plan to bring out a policy framework and time-bound action plan for the exploration, processing, use and recycling. The policy is reduce, recycle and also reuse. These are the 3 R's is the policy, and critical minerals in the country. We are also working out through GSI. GSI has now handed over 170 reports to the various states. Out of that, of the critical minerals, out of that G2 level are 36, G3 30 and G4 104. NMET prioritize, National Mineralization Exploration Trust prioritize funding of the exploration of deep-seated critical minerals In the current field season, GSI has taken up 151 critical mineral exploration projects, which is 50% of its total yearly exploration project. Previously it used to happen that in the surfacial mineral also, GSI used to take it up to G2 and G1 level. That we said for the surfacial mineral, you give the report at G4 and G3. We can auction it at the composite. We can go for the composite license, and by that now GSI is concentrating more on the critical and deep-seated rare earth minerals. The policy shall have several actionable and including identification of critical minerals. Other points will include domestic exploration, private participation in exploration. There was only one exploration agency before. Now we have allowed the private participation also. There are 14 private companies which are able to be, which are empaneled and they are able to participate in the exploration. I am informing this to assure that industry, that the government is committed towards their welfare. We are not only framing the policy guidelines but also forging the partnership with the other countries to secure the supply of the critical minerals. Last week, when Prime Minister Modi ji was in USA, the two nations reiterated the collaboration to secure the resilient critical mineral supply chains. Thanks to efforts of Prime Minister Modi ji, India has been inducted into the Mineral Security Partnership, MSP, a US-led collaboration of 14 countries to bring about the investment in the critical mineral supply chains. Moreover, India and Australia are strengthening their partnership in the clean energy transition and creating resilient supply chains for the critical minerals. The two countries have identified 5 targeted projects, 2 lithium and 3 cobalt, to undertake the detailed due diligence. We are also contemplating to establish a center of excellence for the critical minerals as a new wing in the Ministry of Mines. It will help identifying the next generation critical minerals deposit through geological knowledge, data analytics and machine learning. It is said that journey of thousands of miles begins with one step. Today, the release of India's first ever list of critical minerals is the first step. Combined with the several other initiatives, we are creating diverse, resilient, sustainable supply chains through a strong and secure international partnership. This identification of 30 minerals puts India at par with the other global economies like Australia, Japan, US, UK, South Korea, etc., thereby by enabling us to provide roadmap for the strategic planning, investment, policy formulation to safeguard our national interest and promote the long-term sustainability. However, it is important to note that the list is not static. The dynamics of the mineral sector and evolving technological advancement require us to regularly review, update this inventory. We must remain vigilant, adaptive, and also responsive to the changing global landscape to ensure the continued availability and necessity of these critical minerals. In the Mines Ministry, we are regularly undertaking the policy measures to adapt with the changing times. As a result of our efforts, I can say with the pride that India's mineral sector today matches to the global standards. Some of the key reforms in the sector include amendment to MMDR Act, Mines and Mineral Development Regulation Act 1957 in 2015, moving to the auction-only regime, establishment of NMET to promote the mineral exploration, constitution of DMF for the welfare activities in the mining affected regions. Again, amendment to MMDR Act in 2020, seamless transfer of all valid rights, licenses, approvals, clearances, etc. to new lessee. Power to state to auction the mining lease before the expiry. Exploration of the deep-seated minerals and the minerals of national interest by allowing non-exclusive recognizance permit NERP holders to apply the composite license of mining lease PL cum ML. Again, Mines and Mineral Development Regulation Amendment Act 2021, removing the distinction between captive and merchant mines, allowing the sale up to 50% of the minerals produced during the year after meeting the requirement of the attached plan in the captive mines, doing away with the user restriction, resolving the pending case of the section 10A2B by bringing them under the new auction regime. This has made around 500 mineral blocks available. Substituting mining operation with the production and dispatch, since the interpretation of the term mining operation is generic, it is difficult to cancel non-producing leases. Reallocation of non-producing blocks of the government companies, as some of the mining blocks reserved for the government entities are not brought into the production years together. For years together they never used to produce. We are taking them back and handing over to the either to the state government or we are auctioning it. Statutory clearance to be valid even after the expiry of the termination of mining lease and would be transferred to the next lessee of the mines. Allowed the transfer of mineral concession without any changes and the transfer of mine allowed to the existing holder to an interested party resulting into the operation of mine. As per the guidance of Prime Minister Modi to promote the ease of doing, decriminalized 49 rules in mineral concession rules and 24 rules in mineral conservation and development rules. For identifying and sourcing the battery minerals like lithium and cobalt, Kabil has been signed 3 MOUs with government companies of Argentina to explore the sourcing of lithium and other mineral assets in Argentina. Kabil is making the progress to sign the draft non-disclosure agreement of jointly pursuing the lithium mining projects in Chile. Therefore, we are truly transferred the India's mineral sector, but I assure you that we are just warming up. Based on the industry feedback, we will continue to amend the MMDR Act to further reform the sector. For ease of doing business, whatever the suggestions we get from the sector, we are open for that. Even when I took charge in 2019, from that day I am telling any feedback from the industry which should be win-win situation, in that situation all suggestions are open. Under PM Modi, we are enacting coherent policies and making the smart investment to ensure uninterrupted mineral supply to the required industry. We are also making provisions to facilitate dedicated business-friendly policies that would encourage mining and mineral companies to increase their investments in India and bring the international best practices. The country has resources of nickel, cobalt, molybdenum and rare earth elements, but further the exploration would be needed to evaluate the quantities of these resources. I urge GSI, MECL, state DGMs and private exploration agencies to take more exploration projects of lithium, copper, nickel, cobalt and rare earth elements, and I also urge all state government kindly actively participate, cooperate, ultimately that increases your revenue, not the central government revenue. By identifying and prioritizing the critical minerals, we are taking the proactive measures to reduce our dependence on imports, enhance our domestic production capabilities. In this regard, the release of this list of the critical minerals today is a significant step in our quest to resource the security, economic prosperity and sustainable development. Our task of securing supply of critical minerals may look daunting, but under PM Modi ji, we have achieved this several things, and earlier India used to depend on other countries for its defense needs, but under leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi government, India's defense exports have reached 16,000 crores. The historical decisions and the reforms taken by Modi government have placed India among the top nations in the world. Today, we are the 5th largest economy and we will be the 3rd largest economy very soon. We are giving China a tough competition. The Economist Intelligence Unit EIU has reported India to be one of the most improved countries in its quarterly forecast for the best business environment in next 5 years. However, China has dominant role in critical minerals market. It controls the significant portion of the global production and processing capacity of various critical minerals. If we are to compete with our neighbor, we have to move swiftly to secure self-reliance in supply of critical minerals. Critical minerals must be prospected, explored and mined on priority, as any delays may hinder the India's emission reduction and climate change mitigation timeline. Today's day, therefore, sets a milestone in India's journey in harnessing critical minerals. We have taken an important step by identifying the list of critical minerals to eventually extract more value from our onshore and offshore resources, thus creating jobs and economic opportunities for progress. Together, let us harness the potential of these critical minerals to build the brighter future of our nation and contribute to the global well-being. With these words, I congratulate all the team members who have worked relentlessly to identify and develop this report. It is indeed a significant milestone for our nation and a testament in our commitment to sustainable development of resource security. I am confident that concentrated efforts will help building the new India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Jai Hind, all the best.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister Sir, for your very deep insights on the importance of this report and the various reforms and initiatives which are being taken under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister towards shaping a more progressive, robust, facilitating and an Atmanirbhar mining sector, and further working towards the global good and welfare of all. Thank you, Minister Sir. And ladies and gentlemen, at the closure, I now request and invite our Joint Secretary Policy Mines, Dr. Veena Kumari D. She is the chairperson of the 7-member committee which was constituted by the Ministry to identify the list of critical minerals for our country. I request her for her concluding remarks and also to kindly propose a formal vote of thanks.
Honorable Minister of Mines, Coal and Parliamentary Affairs, Government of India, Honorable Minister of Mines, Government of Assam, Secretary Ministry of Mines, Ambassador from Mongolia and other diplomats from other countries, senior officers of the Ministry, on and off the dais. Good evening to all of you. First and foremost, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to the Honorable Minister of Mines. Sir, your visionary leadership, unwavering commitment and relentless efforts have been instrumental in shaping the mineral sector of our country. Under your guidance, the mining industry has witnessed tremendous growth, and your dedication to promoting sustainable mining practices and your guidance on The areas of critical mineral exploration and policy formulation for India's growth and development is truly inspiring. So thank you very much for your guidance and also for taking time from your busy schedule to be present amongst us on this occasion. I am grateful to Secretary Sir for his valuable vision to initiate the process for identifying the critical minerals for the country, and his guidance and insight into finalizing the list, as well as his inputs for the report. Thank you, sir. My heartfelt thanks to the Additional Secretary, Ministry of Mines, for his invaluable contribution in the successful compilation and release of the list of critical minerals. Sir, thank you. I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to all the committee members for their diligent efforts in this regard. The committee has meticulously undertook a three-stage assessment process to arrive at a comprehensive list of critical minerals for the country. In the first stage, we extensively studied the critical mineral strategies of major global economies such as Australia, USA, Canada, UK, and Japan and South Korea, which already have identified the mineral critical to their own country. Primarily, we started with a total list of 69 elements that we were considered critical for the major global economies. In the second stage, we conducted an interministerial consultation to identify the minerals which are critical to specific sectors. We had representatives from various ministries and organizations, including the Ministry of Power, Department of Atomic Energy, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology, Indian Rare Earth Limited, Department of Science and Technology, Department of Pharmaceuticals, and Niti Aayog. All of these ministries have actively participated and shared their expertise. I would like to extend my gratitude to these ministries for sharing their valuable comments and also suggestions that further help the committee in shaping the list of critical minerals. After taking into consideration the input from these ministries, we have narrowed down the list to 38 elements that were taken up for further assessment. In the third stage, the committee had a series of deliberation with think tanks like the International Energy Agency, IEA, the Center for Social and Economic Progress, CSEP, and the Council on Energy, Environment and Water, CEEW. I am thankful to CSEP, CEEW and IEA for providing the knowledge input which has led us to this day. Finally, after the comprehensive assessment process and also taking into account the important parameters such as resource and reserve position of this mineral in the country, production, import dependency, and future technology requirement, the committee has identified the 30 minerals critical for India. I would like to express my gratitude to the entire team involved in the identification of critical mineral and preparation of this report. Your hard work, extensive research, and attention to detail have resulted in a comprehensive and significant document for the nation. The meticulous effort put forth by each team members have contributed to the overall success of this endeavor, and thanks to everyone of the committee. Furthermore, I extend my appreciation to all the stakeholders, industry experts, and researchers who have actively participated and provided their valuable insight throughout the process. Your collective efforts have undoubtedly added immense value to the list. I also would like to thank everyone present here for coming and joining on this event and making this event successful. My special thanks to the representative of different countries who have accepted our invitation on short notice and be here today. Last but not least, we would like to thank the organizers of this event for their meticulous planning, the impeccable execution, and ensuring the smooth conduct of this significant gathering. All the directors of Ministry of Mines deserve a special mention. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude the event. The ores and the rock samples are displayed outside. You're requested to kindly pay a visit there. And the report which has been released just now at the hands of our Honorable Minister, Shri Prahlad Joshi ji, is also, you can collect a copy of the same from the desk outside. Thanking once again our Honorable Minister. Thanks also to Shri Jugan Mohan ji, the Honorable Minister from Assam, to our respected Secretary, Additional Secretary, Director General GSI, and to the Joint Secretary. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. There is high tea outside. Please join us for high tea. Thank you.